Friends, Brian here for the Life of Brian show, and today I want to talk about something concerning, for all of you out there who do not know who I am, I'm a not quite average, not quite typical, middle-aged Canadian who's very concerned. So one of the things I would like to talk about today is a recent tweet by the leader of the NDP. For those of you who aren't from Canada, all my American friends out there, I got a lot of American friends, that means the New Democratic Party of Canada. Socialist Party, the leader, Jagmeet Singh. He tweeted very recently, this is just post Donald Trump being voted as the President of the United States recently. Interesting post here. I'm going to read this out to you guys, okay? I always try to be respectful. I always try and, say, hey, well, this person was voted as a leader or whatever, but sometimes they'll post things and you'll scratch your head going, what the hell is he talking about? This was the other day on Twitter, or now known as X, okay? Thank you, Elon. Jagmeet Singh. In Canada, we've got each other's backs. That's why we're proud of universal health care. Proud of universal health care. Okay, well, the Canadian healthcare system, all my Canadian friends understand it's not the golden utopia that some people tend to think it is that aren't from Canada. We'll get to that one in a second. While Conservatives push U.S.-style for-profit care, we're committed to protecting and strengthening our public system. Okay, so he's taking a pot shot at the Conservatives. If you ever watch the House of Commons, the government up here in Canada, they love to take pot shots at each other, bicker and fight back and forth. But hey, guys, this country's in trouble. We got to come up with some solutions here. This is what sets us apart from our American neighbors, meaning, okay, we have each other's back, of course. Why don't we all pay a little extra and, then if something happens to you, you're taken care of. If something happens to me, I'm taken care of. Where he's kind of alluding to, maybe in the United States, it's more, hey, if you can afford it, take care of your own problems, right? But I don't know if this is really a fair thing to say with him saying, we're proud of universal health care. My friends, if you're not used to the health care in Canada, there's a lot of problems here, okay? Number one, the waiting time. And this is where I I'm looking at our leaders now of all the different parties, especially the big leader, and going, are they really in tune with what's going on? So, if you go to the ER or the emergency room in Canada, be prepared for a long wait. When I go to the ER now, even if it's just for something simple as a cough or a very severe chest infection, I pack a lunch, I pack a cooler, I pack drinks, I make sure I've got ways to communicate for work. It could be anywhere from 1 to 24 hours, if not more, depending on where you're going. I'm going to give you some examples, okay? And in two different provinces. A few years back, I had torn my pectoral muscle. Yes, being a meathead in the gym doing crazy stuff, but still, very nasty injury, extremely painful, and the muscle ripped right off, okay? And within hours, I started to have a hematoma, and at that time, I lived just 2 blocks away from a hospital, folks. So the hematoma started to eventually cover under my arm and down my chest, and I went into the hospital, and they kind of looked at it, and the doctor's like, well, it will heal. And I said, well, hey, maybe I need to get this surgically reattached, which I did. And they didn't really do anything. After waiting in there for a long time, and you're seeing people with sniffles going in ahead of you, little colds, and you're sitting there going, oh my God, I got something going. Later that evening, at about 3 a.m, the hematoma had covered my whole upper body to the point where I had bags of blood hanging off my lower back and off of my arms. This picture doesn't do it justice, but that was the direction things were going. I finally walked into the emergency room at 3 a.m, unbuttoned my shirt, let my shirt fall to the ground in front of everyone. I said, hey, can someone please help me? I need help. So, okay, then they get the x-ray technician in. They looked into scheduling. They had a doctor come look at me right away. Then they had to schedule an ultrasound, which took a day or two. And then on top of that, they said, yeah, it's torn. You're going to have to get an MRI done and see about surgery. Well, it took me about 6 to 8 weeks to get booked into an MRI. And then when I went to the MRI machine, it looked like it was from something back in the 60s, Cold War era technology, and I couldn't even fit into the machine properly. So by that time, I'm like, well, there's no point. It's too late now. Very recently, Canada Day of 2023. Okay, Canada Day here, folks, is July 1st. It's the equivalent to the American 4th of July kind of thing. Someone very close to me, someone I cared about, an elderly person, had a bad fall and had a severe gash in their head. You could see their skull through the gash. It was a 2-inch gash. And we were like, oh my God, you got to go to the hospital. So in the hospital, and this is in a small town in a different province, She had to wait, an elderly person with a huge gash in her forehead, had to wait 3 hours to see a doctor to stitch it up. My friends, here in Canada, we have problems. So I have to ask Jagmeet Singh, are you really in tune with what the hell is going on here, pal? Like, with all due respect, sir, I think you're a very smart, intelligent man. Don't agree with some of the things that are coming out lately, but how can you be proud of that? Also, I want to say too, to be fair, there's a lot of great people in Canada who work in the healthcare system who are just trying to do the best they can with the limitations of this crappy system we have in place. We've also had over the years a lot of what's called brain drain. A lot of highly qualified doctors and nurses, among other people in the medical profession, go south of the border. They're going to go to the United States because they get paid more and have their own healthcare coverage with their work. Why would they stay? What is Canada doing to offset that? It's really bad, folks. But I want to take a second here and let's just look at some of the comments. I got to read some of the comments here. Johnny Seabass, you don't have my back or any other Canadian's back. There's something going on here about Mr. Singh's pension, about what's going on. He's doing some stuff there. That's not what I'm getting into today. We'll talk about that another time. If you want some entertainment, look at the comment section here, folks. John Smith, free healthcare in Canada, just ate $9,000 income tax dollars per person. Nothing is free. Someone somehow earned the money to make it free for someone who didn't work. So, Canadians are fed up with a lot of things and they want, they're calling an early election, some of the political parties. Jagmeet is dragging his feet on this, which is causing people to be more irritated. Chick from Ontario, our healthcare is awful. 6 months for an MRI, a year or more for the most specialist appointments. You can't be proud of that disaster you're talking about. Man. Oh, Jagmeet, spare us the sanctimonious sermon. You talk about having each other's backs, but let's be real here. The only back you're concerned with is Justin Trudeau's. You've got his back so tightly, you might as well be a permanent fixture in the Liberal Party's. Oh my God, okay. So it just... The NDP government and BC, meaning British Columbia, province on the West Coast, sends cancer patients to the United States for treatment. Someone should write a community note. Oh man, this is just crazy. So I'm going to respond with a link to this video in the comments. That's what I'm going to do. But it's just, with so many things now, like the price of food, Canada is in such disarray. It's really bad, even in the past 4 years. I've always been a proud Canadian. Now I'm going, man, I'm really concerned. What the hell is going on with this country? The healthcare is an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster. For anyone who says, no, it's great. Yes, it's good that you can get into the hospital and everyone has some basic healthcare. Absolutely. But be prepared to wait, folks. And if you need surgeries, even serious surgeries, be prepared to be on a waiting list. I'm sorry, but if you need a heart surgery, you shouldn't have to be waiting on a list. That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So for him to say that we're proud of it, it's like, I don't think he realizes how much of a mess the healthcare system is in right now. Tell us your stories about being in the ER in Canada. And hopefully this was somewhat educational to all my non-Canadian friends out there. But it was so weird to see a leader of one of the main parties in government say something like that. Like, dude, what are you talking about? Like, I wonder if Jagmeet Singh had to go to the ER for himself or someone in his immediate family, would they have to wait the way we have to wait? There was just something really wrong with that post. So what do you guys think? Comment below, tell us your stories. And new channel, of course, but hit like, hit subscribe, I really appreciate it. And this is Brian signing out.